be sharing with you all here today. Not because I get to sit up here with my role models, but because I remember as a brand new coach less than 4 years ago how meaningful it was for me to be able to hear from other healthcare professionals that were using the program. So similar to Jan, I always knew healthcare was for me. I've been working in the healthcare field my entire adult life. I started in the cardiovascular ICU as a little 19-year-old working my way through nursing school, and became an ICU nurse about the time that Dr. A was exiting critical care. And a few years into ICU nursing, I really realized that I wanted nothing more than to help people stay out of the ICU. And so I went about that the only way that I knew how, and that was to take out a student loan and go back to school. So I became a family nurse practitioner and started in family practice. And it was there that I pretty quickly realized that the medical model was really designed more to treat symptoms than to really create health. And I didn't have enough time with my patients to really do the kind of education that I knew was important. So I did two things. I went back to school, got my doctorate, and I transitioned into specialty practice of cardiology. Because I thought, surely with more education and a little bit more time, maybe then I'd really be able to help people the way that I knew was important, was to make healthy lifestyle change. So 7 years into cardiology, doing way more than the 5-minute lecture, really going above and beyond, nothing was working. Nothing was working, you know? And I started to just get really disappointed. Disappointed in the system, but really disappointed in myself and my inability to help people the way that I really wanted to. And then, one of my very favorite patients, who we were working so hard to control her blood pressure and her weight, Linda, she suffered a stroke. And she wound up passing away in the ICU just a couple weeks later from that stroke. And it's hard for me to explain how pivotal that was for me. I mean, it just devastated me. It brought me literally to my knees, just saying, there's gotta be a better way. I can't keep doing this. I can't keep working so hard and seeing my patients suffer. And then the pandemic came. And I just wanted to quit. I did. I just wanted to be home with my family, just like everybody else. But I couldn't, because my student loans cost more than my mortgage. So I was really stuck. I felt stuck and unhappy and just sad. And that was the state that I was in when Optavia found me. So I didn't start with a personal story, and it wasn't a patient that shared with me. It was a coach that reached out. And when Curtly called me that day, we didn't know each other at all. We had met once. She didn't even know I was a nurse practitioner. But she called and I answered, and she started sharing with me about this incredible program that she was using where people were getting so healthy and everybody felt better and medications were being reduced and people were losing weight. And you know what I felt? Jealous. Because all I knew was the trauma triangle then, you know, I was miserable. But thankfully it didn't take me long to realize that she was offering me an opportunity to join her and to do the same. So she sent me some videos of Dr. A talking, which I listened to on repeat that whole weekend. And it was the first time that I felt hope again in the healthcare system in a long time. You know, like a community of people that also wanted to help people get healthy. People that did believe the body could heal. So I shared that with my mom, who knew how much I was struggling at work. And by Monday morning, she called me and she said, well, I don't know what you're going to do with this, but I'm going on plan. So she bought a 5-in-1 kit, I bought a coaching kit, and we learned together. And I was just amazed at how well it worked for her because nothing else was working. She was a yo-yo dieter my whole life, and it worked. So that gave me the boldness to actually reach out to Linda's family, who I knew had the same risk factors that she did, and she had shared with me before that she was worried for them too. 2 of her daughters trusted me and they went on plan. And it worked for them too. And honestly, like, that was just enough for me as a healthcare provider to have an answer. To be able to offer something to my patients that worked. That was good enough at that point. I was still too busy at that point to really do a lot of coaching, but that was fine because one of Linda's daughters was an ICU nurse, and she desperately wanted to work her way out of the COVID ICU, where her mom also passed away. Talk about trauma as a nurse. And so I helped her grow her business through referrals, and then I decided it's time for me and my family